Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the stream today. Today we are going to be doing the London Open session. So something else. Previously I was mainly focusing on either the pre-market or the 9:30 a.m. session. But let's give some love to the London Open. I'm heading into the 3 a.m. Silver Bullet, old school. So we'll see what we get. It's Monday. The main cluster of high impact news this week is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So Monday, Tuesday is rather expected to be either slower or just more quiet. Nonetheless, in terms of the bias for the time being, I'm focusing on the 25,128.5 buy side liquidity, and that's my initial interest or draw liquidity. So with that said, I will be focusing mostly on the bullish side of the marketplace today. And yeah, let's jump to the price and see what the tape will tell us here. Alright, so what I have annotated here, or tried to annotate, is this first inefficiency after 2 a.m., which is the London Open first presented fair value gap. And so far price was not able to reprice into it, and we are consolidating, staying inside of the range ahead of the 3 a.m. My interest would be to see if we can drop into this first presentation and then possibly react smoothly and quickly away from it. That would be kind of the scenario that I would be looking for, but yeah, we'll see what we get eventually. I will annotate the minor pools of liquidity on the buy side and sell side. So this is the short-term buy side liquidity. We have somewhat of a trend line phantom here on these lows, somewhat of a pennant, which I would like to see fleeced, so kind of like cleared, taken out, and that would be really doing well in concert with the first presented fair value gap, because taking the sell side liquidity below those lows and tapping into the first presented fair value gap and then reacting higher, that would set up a really solid stage for potential run higher towards the current new week opening up for this week. So 25,036 even is the low hanging fruit objective, basically. And yeah, what I also want to note that we had some very smooth relatively cool lows ahead of the London. We tapped into that and rejected quickly, so it kind of looks to me that we should not really violate this low as it is right now. At least that's what I'm thinking. If we do, then I will need to like change my scenarios and change my idea about it. But I guess that's everything that I wanted to outline so far, and I think that's enough to watch the price and study what we do. Right. Again, that there is a lot of shenanigans happening around the world, which does impact the markets or can impact the markets in various ways, which the risk is still elevated in terms of that potential black swan event, which that's something that we have to keep in mind still, even if dealing with this intraday little sessions. All right. I'm just double checking the settings and the stream, but looks like everything is fine. So yeah, that's good. Finito. Okay. So entering the 250 to 310 macro. So far still inside this range. So what I want to see is to take out the sell side here first, drop into the first presented fair value gap, and then smoothly kind of like jump up, jump higher towards this minor buy side and possibly some higher. We could also pop above this buy side like shallowly, then reject and do the same thing, and that would be reasonably similar, but even like stronger, I believe. Other than that, I'll have to wait and see. Right. Alright, tapping or heading closer to the trend line phantom sell side. Would be really nice to see if we could just clear this out. So that's basically what I'm waiting for. Before that happens, or unless that happens, it's kind of like 50-50, trying to predict the breakout, which that's not the probability that I'm looking for. I prefer to see the breakout first and then judge whether it's likely to continue or more likely to reverse, or what's the idea. nonetheless, right now I have to wait and see. Hello Money Glitch, welcome to the stream. Hope you had a great weekend. And we are back to the business. Okay, I like how they came very close to it, but not yet taken it out. It's like really faking that. All right, this is actually support, right? You can trust it's gonna react and continue this uptrend, some sort of a. While like soon after it, if for example it hit like this little imbalance here, it would fizzle out and then just drop and just clear the board on the sell side. That would be quite interesting though. I like how they engineered the buy side liquidity here with those relative equal highs. I think that's quite constructive for now, but it's hanging around this trend line, which I suspect should fail. And then I want to see if we can reach the first printed fair value gap. That's the game plan for me right now. That's what I want to see. If that will not happen, until that will not happen, then I'm not really apt to do anything. As it's just ranging. Alright, so trade to this small volume imbalance right here. I will note it, and that would be quite reasonable to see it tap and like drop lower, clear that out. still fighting, but that's, yeah, that's fine. Nonetheless, as I said, as long as we stay inside this range, I'm like considering this as low probability in terms of, you know, predicting the next logical price run, because or maybe not predicting but unfolding it, because it could go either way still. The fact that they reacted so quickly off of that trend line here, I believe that really builds a lot of trust that, yeah, that's going to go higher. And now, like, sweeping above the buy side, that would be like ultimate breakout strategy, right? So while the sell side will be still there, resting very smoothly. So yeah, I'm not interested in going long unless we clear out the sell side first, at least while being inside this range. So we went very, very, very close to the buy side, the minor buy side, but price fell short and now rejecting it. So it engineered perfect relative equal highs with the lower high to the right, which is basically or technically ideal for a run on liquidity. But before we do that, I would really want to see clear out the sell side first, and that would really prepare a potential run higher. But yeah, still waiting. By the way, we entered the 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. silver bullet for London Open. So I suspect that we should see some kind of movement, some kind of run during this hour. They are definitely preparing something, but yet the move hasn't started yet. Looks like we will poke the trend line now. Now what I want to see is whether we can manage to trade back to this first printed fair value gap. So buy side liquidity engineered, it's there. Sell side is being taken out, the trend line phantom is being engaged, and down to the first printed fair value gap is what I'm like looking for. If it can fail to reach it, then it's even stronger. So I will not see a failure to reach to this level as a failure of concept. It's just adding more fuel. So let's see what we actually get. Because it's quite a large first printed fair value gap, I can add the quadrants and watch around those levels too. So we tapped the high of it, That's good. That's fine. As long as we stay in the upper half of it, I believe it's still very, very valid to see a rejection and run higher and clear out the buy side. But let's see. No need to force anything. Nice. I like this rejection. It failed to reach the upper quadrant, which is really, really solid, I would say. So we traded to the first presentation, traded up into the CB here, now reacting off of that CB. So I'm watching if we can place like a lower low here, but still not trade below the 50%. So taking out this low down to consecutive encroachment is reasonable still. We could see that. Okay, we did. We touched the upper quadrant and now we see some initial reaction. Okay, so that's nice. I would consider the buy side liquidity as long as this low can stay. But now being a little bit sloppy around it. No displacement as it is right now. I'm waiting for the displacement to the upside. Alright, looks like this might be it, and a run might be there. Okay, generally this 15-second fair value gap, it should leave this portion open, and this shouldn't be closed either, right? So if we trade into this one, I would consider taking a long to see what we can do about it. It looks like it's running away with strength, leaving those gaps open. That's very good, that's fine. Very close to the buy side liquidity here. I suspect it should just smash right through it without much hesitation. The liquidity was like engineered right for this purpose, and hey, it delivered pretty nicely, right? At least so far. Clear out the trendline phantom sell side into the first presentation, respected the upper half, rallied aggressively higher, yet to take out the buy side liquidity here, but I think that's just like formality. So I'm watching still this area here for a potential institutional or referential drill. While expecting that it should not take out this low if it's going to go higher, right? As it is for the London, the ranges are rather small right now, so it's not like a lot. Tapped into it, so I will try to engage this one with the stop loss below this low here, as I would not like to see it overcome it if it's good. And obviously that would be like the go-to objective here. But yeah, let's place it here for now. And let's watch and see. I will put it right below this fair value gap here. So this is like what I don't want to see. If it's good, it shouldn't go there. No, okay, I can now remove this. All right. Alright, so right away it does a little bit too much time spending inside of this as I would like, but nonetheless the bodies are still respecting this inefficiency, and that's kind of key. And the bodies did not close at the low, which is also a good sign. If it's good and the buy side liquidity here is quite loaded, I would say it's a huge pool of liquidity that was engineered. Using this retracement down into this as a discount makes a lot of sense to see trade higher. At least that's what it should do if it's indeed bullish for the London Open here, and that's what I suspect, and that's what I outlined. So if it fails, it fails, and you know, I will swallow that. But yeah, that's what I want to see. It really needs to reject quickly from the low here, otherwise it's really becoming tricky. But yeah, if it stops me out here, I will wait and see whether we will or can get above it again, and if we do, I will relong it basically. So it traded outside of it, already not ideal, but this is the last line of defense for me here, this little imbalance here. So it can still touch it at the high, and then I want to see really like reject it, right? Something like that. Yes, I like that, but it has to leave this higher inefficiency to the upside. Yeah, that's ideal. So I don't want to see this show any inversion sensitivity, and it didn't. That's ideal, and it should now just keep on running higher, then clearing out the buy side. This objective is kinda dynamic here, I would say. I just want to see the price trade above the buy side liquidity, and then I want to see how it does, because yeah, my overall target on the upside or the higher draw is way higher, so it could have a lot of more room to go if it's good. Obviously, that's what we will still want to see, right? Unless I want to see quick expansion higher. I want to see like it start running higher, really, like it's in a rush, like it really wants to like seek the buy side. Okay, returning back to this 15-second inefficiency here, and now because it traded basically both sides and is basically balanced inside of this range, I really strictly would like to see it react from the high to the consecutive encroachment. It should not close below the consecutive encroachment, because if it does, then I guess I see like too many red flags already. And yeah, so again, it has to show me like reaction, like speed from those discount arrays here. Otherwise, we might just see this stay for now and like be left, for example, for the New York session maybe, or potentially. Alright, so we're tapping into this. We traded already to the low, and that's not what I like to see. This is not what I like to see. It has to react like very quickly from it, and I guess I'll give it like 1-2 more minutes, but already I don't like what it does here. Yeah, it stopped me out. So fair enough, I would say. Fair enough. Let's see what we get still out of it. If we can trade above it here again, I will probably give it another chance. But yeah, definitely some sloppier price action here and more high in resistance. So it needs to close above this inefficiency here again, and then I would anticipate this as like the manipulation here to take out the sell side. Okay, it did closed. If it comes back to it, I'll give it the last shot. Okay, we touched the high. That's, I guess, enough. The stop loss goes below this low. It should not be taken out if it's good. If it does, then I'm basically done for the London, and I'm not interested in it anymore. So basically, because they took out this low here, rejected that above this inefficiency, still staying with that idea that this buy side is likely the draw, the next is draw, it should not overtake this low then, because that was kind of like the stop rate, and that's usually what stays. But if it does take it out again, then it really suggests that the environment is not prompt to run higher at the moment, and or there is just like higher degree of manipulation that I might not want to engage with. But nonetheless, let's add the middle line of this inefficiency, and I want to see the bodies stay inside of the upper half as they do right now. So that's what I want to see, and it should be leaving to the upside. Alright, so we left this inefficiency here, and it would be really nice to see a smooth run up and speed up. So because it already failed me once here and I got stopped like by a tick or two, because my stop loss was basically at the low, but yeah, I was, and now the second time I really want to see just run, because we have like additional stop run behind us, so everything is basically loaded for it to go higher if it's meant to go higher. Like there is nothing that there is nothing on the downside that we need to capitalize on again at the moment. If we do, then we might see some deeper retracement, and obviously that's something else, and then I want to just get stopped out and leave. But yeah, as you can see, the profile of the London open silver bullet here is not necessarily very convenient, as it started relatively low resistance. It kind of became high resistance in the process, and yeah, I'm just trusting that this is where it's likely to go next. Like it's too smooth, too obvious, but failing again definitely just takes my interest. And this is now like more managing expectations. But yeah, coming back to it again and closing below it, it's not what I want to see, because it really just turned or turns into a consolidation here, a larger consolidation, and this technically would be ideal to see it run higher, as we left it, respected the high, and it should run, but it fails. So this is already like something that I don't want to see again. And I'm even considering closing this position out at the moment, because the probabilities are clearly not in my favor at the moment. Yet that's how the high resistance kinda goes. This is a lot of give and take, back and forth, and it's hard to trade and easy for getting stopped out, mainly or usually. The only thing that helps me inside of this trade is that I trust or have a strong conviction that we will take out the buy side here. That's not a guarantee, but that's what I'm holding onto. But yeah, already outlined the process. If it stops me out here, I'm basically done. Alright, looks like I might get stopped out here again if it doesn't come back quickly. It did. And yeah, high resistance, very difficult condition. Honestly, I think I will cut the bait here, because it's unfavorable, and because I might get easily tagged again in these conditions, as it's really showing unwillingness to run or sustain anything serious. Alright, just take it out, because yeah, it is what it is, I guess. It is what it is in terms of price, I guess. High resistance liquidity run, difficult condition to trade, to manage, and yeah, the precision is clearly off. And even though I like everything about it in terms of like how smooth this was, how price dropped into this first printed fair value gap, and I have a strong conviction that this buy side will be taken out, the fact that it became so choppy, so fuzzy, so difficult in here, uh, that's really like a red flag. And I guess that's not what I want to like engaging when it's that bad. And it would took me out here on this stop again, so I would get a second stop out here, and it's not ruled out that it would still deliver, right? While also it could fail, so it's really like tricky, right? It doesn't sound like a very high probability to engage, right? There is a significant difference when the market conditions are really good, clean, and the candles are doing what I'm expecting them to do. That's a whole different trading, right? But here, like so many times, price was not doing what I was willing to see, and it was really like being awkward and stubborn, and that's what we got. So yeah. So I'm watching this short-term low here again as it was taken out, and price is now trying to move again inside of this imbalance. Consecutive encroachment was used here somewhat as an immediate rebalance here, leaving a little portion there. So it would need to, or it should like shoot a straight up candle here, and theoretically it could do it, but practically it's high resistance, it could still fail, which makes it difficult. That makes it difficult to engage, and yeah, no shame in taking a loss in high resistance liquidity run conditions. So note how it's respecting the upper half of this imbalance here. That's what I'm watching. So here it closed slightly outside of it after it wicking, but then the next one opened right at the consecutive encroachment. So it should run now, basically. It should run now. If it's good, right? If it's low resistance, if this run will be low resistance, it should run right now. it's failing. So yeah, we're just keeping messing this range, messing inside of this range. So yeah, I'm glad I got out, to be honest. And what's next, basically? So I see like few options. One is that if we leave this buy side here like that, and it will be there for either pre-market or the 9:30. If this stays until 9:30 and it's not being traded above, this is the main draw on liquidity after 9:30. If it's there at that time, I don't know if it will, but if it's open at that time, that's the draw. We can still keep messing around in here. Probably like how I see it, the sell side liquidity on the short term are being attacked, like here, 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 maybe even here, while the buy side is being left, right? High, lower, high, lower, high, lower, high, lower, high. So they are really engineering a lot of buy side liquidity here, while attacking, damaging, and purging the sell side. So basically every time there is a lower low like this, someone is buying that on the smart money. That's what I assume. And obviously they have deep pockets, so they can like weather a deeper retracement, but you know, that's not what a casual trader can do. So again, inside of the first presentation here, and likely or potentially going for this low here, initial low here, which taking this out and not trading outside of the first presentation on the closing basis, in my opinion, would be a last chance for the London Open to deliver the buy side here. If it fails and goes below it, then yeah, it's not likely to do it in London. But I guess that's what I'm watching for the next, I don't know, 20 to 30 minutes, and then whatever happens, and we just go about our day. So I really would like to see this low being actually raided, not necessarily left like this. Alright, so it trades into this CB here. I'm watching or thinking that it trades to it to make a lower low, because these are now relatively equal, and disrupting them first would be quite constructive, right? Yet I will add this inefficiency here. So I'm watching that as a CB, but if we close above it, then I will expect this to work as inversion for value gap. So again, this is very difficult environment or difficult session to navigate in, admittedly, Like this is really advanced session, and you can easily get chopped out inside of it. So this closed above, so I'm now changing the color. So I'm thinking about this as potential inversion fair value gap, but not something I want to like buy straight away, because of all of this questionable price action here. I want to see this first prove itself to me. So it would need to trade into it, to the upper half, and then show a nice displacement away. Alright? Something to that degree. Yes, something to that degree. That would confirm this as bullish inversion fair value gap to me. So as this here, it should not lose this inefficiency, and it should run higher then. So this looks like a low resistance liquidity run in the making, to be honest. But it's happening so fast. It's look at this little chart here. This is 5-second chart. It's really like going fast, and you have to be on point with it. So I'm talking about the idea, and the idea is technically like happening, but yet there is no chance for me to like talk, explain it, engage it, and stuff like this. So that's not an issue though, because this is I'm streaming. I'm like providing some content, some value, some insights. It's not about me taking trades here and making money, because that's not what it is. So yeah, because it did this, it's highly likely that it will run the buy set now, right? But look how much of wiggle waggle it did today before it eventually might see the buy set taken out. Obviously it's not guaranteed, it could still fail, but I would say it's quite likely that we reach there at this point, right? Because again, as I said, every time we are making a lower low here, smart money was accumulating that, and this is kind of like the result of it. So it delivers eventually in a low resistance liquidity run fashion, but after really like being messy and messing around a lot with high resistance. And yeah, I mean, this was not an easy session, but this was a very good one, I would say. Very insightful. And yeah, I really like this one though. So yeah, we got the buy side, and now yeah, obviously I want to see how far we can reach above it. My draw is still like over 100 candles higher than we are right now, the higher time frame draw. So we could still like see and watch whether it can, or how far it can like keep on going here. But nonetheless, like keeping the powder dry, because it can be tricky sometimes. So they were doing a lot of manipulation here, and now it's kind of like being released. So it should really keep on going, not returning to those, even though they are very smooth and equal. As this right now, I would prefer to see it keep on going, but obviously that's something that is to be seen yet. All right. 30 handles from this inversion to buy side, so, or above the buy side. So not that much of a range considering today's volatility, but yeah, that is pretty good as for London, and it has still a lot of room to go, so it could still like keep on going a lot of handles higher, potentially, right? But yeah. So also because this range was all kind of like balanced out back and forth, a lot of back and forth price action, and we left it to the upside. I would measure the high to the low, and the equilibrium of that range is exactly here, and that would be like my line in the sand that I would not like to see breached on a closing basis. It basically should never close below this level if it's still like constructive for higher prices near term. It should not close below it. If it will, then probably like wait for more information, but until then I'm basically sticking with a potential of higher continuation, or continuation higher, I should say. So yeah, this is the next drawn liquidity. Note the current new week opening up, grade it, and that's what I'm thinking for today, basically. And yeah, I hope you guys had an insightful session with me today. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more. Probably not today. Maybe I will squeeze one more, who knows. But yeah, I will be there tomorrow for sure. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Peace. Bye bye.